Welcome in Wednesday edition Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio here today. We'll run through a list of topics. We've got some World Series participants at this point, Diamondbacks and Rangers for the World Championship, despite it just being two countries, but nonetheless, the World Championship coming up. World Series starting here soon with those two teams. Diamondbacks dispatched the Phillies last night in Philadelphia. So we'll use that, branch off into a couple other larger sports topics. Got some NBA, some NFL, some stuff coming up, some college football. Hugh Freeze already being requested in the live stream, a story from AL.com, the impetus of that. So we'll get to that and more coming up today. Again, all podcast on MPW Digital, brought to you by Twisted Tea. More on them in a little bit. But first, the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford lunch specials. You know those, $5.69, couple sides of bread, any size fountain drink. They also can help you with your catering this weekend for tailgating. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, 6:30 p.m. from Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford. Ribs, pulled pork, side items, vegetables, tons of options there with the Oxford Exxon. You also, if you're coming into town, you can enter to win a pair of game day shoes. Got the helmet decals. A lot of reason to stop in Oxford on Saturday morning with the Oxford Exxon when you are getting into town. Again, come to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done. I'd recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Our guest will join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102. Just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow, the Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care to pediatric orthopedics and physical therapy. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm seeing this now. I saw the message board post regarding Freeze and Ashford, and honestly, it just speaks to, I think, where he is mindset-wise right now with the program and the struggles and everything else. I think he took frustration out on Robbie Ashford.
What a shock.
Ainsley Lee, the beat reporter for Auburn for AL.com, led the story with Freeze criticizing Ashford for the first play of the game on Saturday against Ole Miss. It was a 3-yard loss on a running play, but apparently Freeze says that had Ashford handed the ball off to one of the running backs headed in whatever direction, it would have been a 50-yard gain and changed the entire complexion of the game. He said everybody thinks it's going to be a zone read. Well, the first play was a zone slap play where there ain't no read. You hand that sucker off and the backer fit outside and there's a crease right up the chute. Ainsley writes, Ashford had Jeremiah Cobb coming in motion and Jarquez Hunter also in the backfield. While it's unclear which running back Freeze is saying should have toted the football, both were headed to the right where each Ole Miss defender was accounted for with a block. Instead, Ashford faked a handoff to running back Hunter and kept the football before trying to hurry around the left edge. Stopped 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Play one of the game should have been like maybe a 50-yard run. Go watch the film, Freeze says. That first play, you go -3 instead of whatever it would have been. Maybe it may have not been 50, but it was going to be a good run. We were fixing to be second and short or 1st and 10 again or a touchdown. He goes on and says, the last thing I ever want to do, though, is throw a kid under the bus.
You just did it.
Because they're trying hard, and I'm not going to do that.
You just did it.
But y'all have been around the game long enough to know that sometimes you might have a really good call, and it just didn't get executed right.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze said, hinting at Ashford not executing the opening. He didn't hint.
He didn't hint.
No hint in that at all.
It's very kind of you, Ainsley, to say hint, but no, he didn't hint.
No hint there.
If you ask him, he'll show you the film. And hey, look, he's probably right, but you don't do that. You don't do that publicly. You might do it to Ashford in film. Hey, look, if you've done what we told you to do, look what we had here.
Yeah.
I didn't see the first play. I was driving. So I don't know. But I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, apparently the film backs up his call.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
The reason Peyton is getting the nod at the start, it's just the leadership ability and understanding the offense. He's been in some really good battles, and it seems like he's more efficient in the decision making at this point.
Here's his problem in a nutshell: is for a guy. This is one of the reasons I think he's such a hypocrite. For a guy who always talks about his faith and what a great person and all that bullshit that he is, he will throw other people because he only thinks about himself. He will throw other. I mean, it's convenient, right? The cameras come in and here's the baby. Let's have the baby here. It's all about him. He will use anyone, anything, anybody close to him for him. And people go, why do you guys keep beating up on Freeze? Because he's a bad guy. I don't like him. There. I keep saying I like him because I've had some positive interactions with him. But in reality, I don't like him much at all. I have personal reasons to dislike him. Goes back a long way, but specifically 7 years. April of 2016. Unforgivable.
What has been the running joke in this is whether he or Philip Montgomery is calling what part of the offense.
Well, it just depends on whether the play works.
Correct.
Had he handed the ball off, it would have been a Freeze play, but since he didn't, it's Montgomery's fault.
Says Freeze finally gave into the noise on Saturday, tossing the keys of the Auburn offense to Ashford, who was initially asked to pilot a, quote, 13-man personnel package, which featured the use of 3 tight ends. It was a package Freeze was more involved in crafting and one he was excited about. I was very involved in that 13 personnel package last week, very much so, and it really thought we could shorten the game with that. Didn't work quite like anticipated. We had some really good plays out of it at times, but, it's not always the play caller either.
And there's never any credit to the other team. There's never any credit to anybody. I mean, Pete Golding had a plan too. Again, maybe he's right. Maybe that play would have gone for 50 yards and it would have changed the complete complexity of the game. But we could do that with sports with all over the place. I mean, anybody could do that. Pick a team. Pick any team. Go for it. Pick a team. Name a team real quick. Just name a team.
Purdue.
I guarantee you Purdue could go look at some film over the course of this season and go, you know what? This play right here, if we make the right read, that goes for 42 yards, and that's a first down, and maybe we score there, and that changes the complexion of the game. And I'd be sitting in the Purdue room going, yeah, it could be. Sure. Yeah, right.
Had we not turned it over 5 times, we were right in that bitch. I mean, yeah, sure.
Pick another SEC team. I'll give you some specifics. Seriously, we'll do this. Let's have fun with it for a minute. Pick an SEC. Kentucky. Who's Kentucky lost to?
Missouri.
They had that Missouri game where they're leading, right?
Yeah.
They're up 14-0, and they're rolling. They're rolling ball of butcher knives, and they had a turnover. Man, hey, look, LSU, I'm sure there is a drive in that Florida State game when they were tied with the lead. It said, had we just done this there and we go up 24-17 the Ole Miss game.
Or whatever.
The Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
The Ole Miss game. They lose in Oxford. They're up by 9 points.
Late.
I mean, I'm sure they're thinking to themselves, God, we get a couple of first downs right there, and that thing's over. And they're right, Chase. It would have been over. Ole Miss would have run out of time. They're right.
Yeah.
But it didn't work like that. You don't think Arkansas looks back at that 4th and 1 and goes, God, if we just plug that one gap right there. Because if you kind of remember on the first part of that play, it looked like Quinshawn wasn't going to get there. If we just finish that play, it's our ball at the Ole Miss 33, we score, and maybe our season's completely different. Yeah, sure. You can have that argument. Absolutely. You can sit in that room, Alabama with Texas. God, if we don't have that goofy end of the third quarter, if we just make this one play right there, we're number 2 in the country right now. And you know what? They're right.
Well, it's the funny part of what you're talking about, what the stream's talking about. As we said yesterday, Freeze can do all that crap. If Dart simply hits the Corey Franklin, that's a blowout, and you're never in that football
Of course. Game. But you don't see Lane going, we would have had that thing, but, he made a bad read. I mean, he said, hey, he threw it behind him, but then he quickly,
Jackson really sucked on that throw.
He quickly goes, hey, that's football. That happens. Everybody's not going to execute at 100% on every game. It just doesn't work like that. But Freeze can't ever just go, hey, it's a process. We're working at it. Robbie's working hard. Yeah, there's a few plays that we wish we had back, but it doesn't work like that. I'm sure there's a few plays that Ole Miss wishes they had back. And that's the mature, compassionate instead of the bullshit. But hey, look, here's the deal at Auburn.
It's the combination of both. It's Freeze's ego, all the words you want to use with Freeze, and it's the pressure cooker that is causing him to go this far this fast with the job.
But you wanted this, man.
Yeah,
you were at a place
you're
where
cashing the paycheck.
They were worshiping you, and it was easy because Chadwell's 8-0 at Liberty now.
Yeah.
You had a great gig.
You'd be rolling.
You would dominate. What are they in, CUSA or something like that?
Yeah.
You'd dominate that thing. You'd get Coach of the Year multiple times. People would come up and they'd do national stories about you, and you'd have your house up on the mountain. But when the spotlight got really, really bright, you wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, sure.
And you wanted that spotlight. So here it is, champ.
It's burning you now.
And it's only going to get worse because I don't know if you've noticed, but Georgia hadn't lost. And Alabama's not losing.
Yeah.
And the rest of the league's invested as well. And you can't do the shoebox full of money anymore because that doesn't work any longer. Now everybody just pays them up front. So the playing field's been leveled.
Yeah, the combination is creating a mess that we're watching in real time. It's a car wreck. It just goes on and on and on. Like he can't help himself. He's asked about struggles in other places, and he says, "I think you can go look into my offensive stats everywhere I've been," and the answer is no, never, not like this. That said, it'd be nice to have one quarterback, but clearly they don't, so they move forward as they are.
Well, I mean,
we're eager and excited about Robbie. He's so athletic. I'm going to teach him from it.
Maybe they should have bid more on Spencer Sanders.
I've said from day one that I think Robbie has a place. Is his place every down? We'll see this week. Is how we closed.
So they're playing him every down this week?
He'll see this week. I don't know. He hasn't made a decision. The headline was, will Robbie Ashford take over as Auburn QB1? Hugh Freeze hints at why it hasn't happened yet. Again, didn't hint.
No. Threw him straight under the bus. That thump, thump, you heard. That was Robbie. Bless his heart. I mean, what'd the kid do to deserve that?
I mean,
you can do that. I mean, you going to just toss him, just throw him to the wolves? I love all the people that go, hey, Auburn's got this path to a bunch of wins. They got a path to a bunch of losses, too.
Well, they haven't won these state Arkansas games yet.
No.
I mean, I'm taking the points in the state game. I'm not relying on them to win by 8 now.
I'm not sure. I don't think State's going to win.
Whew.
You don't see Zach Arnett over there tossing everybody under the bus. He's just trying to coach his team. Just trying to do his thing right now. I mean, he knows
head down.
He knows it's a grind.
Proud of his win last week and just keep going.
I mean, Sam Pittman's not doing that. Not throwing KJ Jefferson under the bus. I mean, Pittman owned it. I hired him. I should have been more involved.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, he did it. He's not running from the blame.
Yes, Vanderbilt has better quarterback play. That is true.
You don't see Clark Lee throwing kids under the bus. He's got an impossible job just grinding at it. To their credit. It's not working, but it's not from a lack of effort. And he doesn't toss kids under the bus. Just does the best he can. So.
Anyway, yeah. You're one or two more losses from it really just... I mean, frankly, them calling for his job in year one, which is asinine. But that's where they're going to be.
Well, it's the thing that happens when you don't have unanimity on who you should hire. Not to go back down to the Kiffin.
But yeah, he doesn't have a mandate where they believe in it.
But there were a lot of people there that really wanted them to get Kiffin. And when they didn't get Kiffin, there was not unanimity. Okay, it's Freeze. There was big money with Freeze. That was one of the reasons that the Kiffin thing was potentially going to get weird no matter what. But here they are. It's a hard job. It's a great job. You see the crowds. I mean, that crowd was raucous. They have a ton of support. People in that state care about it more than they should, to be honest. It's obnoxious how much they care about it.
So what? I mean, you've been there. What does happen if they lose to Arkansas in state? What does the tenor look like?
He goes in the next season on the hot seat. He's going to get a second year.
Yeah,
They're not
sure.
firing him after 1 year. That's insanity. You don't go anywhere with that. What do you accomplish then? Who you hiring? Because you go back into that. It's like there's a mailbag question I've got about Jimbo Fisher, and it's like, okay, cool. You're firing Jimbo. Great. All right. He's going to be fine. So I love Pittman's answer the other day about, are you worried about your job? And he said, well, no, I'm not worried about my job. I'm worried about the jobs of the people in the building.
Sure.
I've got a buyout.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he gets paid a lot of money.
I mean, he's going to get $10 million. Sam Pittman probably going to be able to take $10 million and be just fine.
He'll keep the lights on.
I mean, he'll go to his lake house and he'll be good to go. Do some analyst work, get a little check on the side here and there. He'll be fine. When you fire Jimbo Fisher, he's going to get $60-some-odd million to go to the ranch. Be all right. Jimbo will be just fine. Who you hiring? Who are you hiring?
I don't know, Grind. I don't know that he can handle that. Grind says no matter what, 3 years.
Could be, but I don't know. Ooh. Better start winning.
Next year doesn't go right, and I mean, woo, boy, going into what year 3 would look like.
And at which point you'd have to ask the question, how good of a job is this right now? This is what we do. Fans do this.
But you're requiring a change in mindset, and
yeah, this is my point. Yes, historically, great job. Sure, Bo Jackson, Pat Sullivan, Cam Newton, etc. Great. They've won titles. They've played for titles. It's the part maybe that I'm overplaying and other people are underplaying. I don't think history matters at all. I don't think it matters at all anymore. When I say history, I mean anything.
You mean 10 years ago.
I mean anything prior to 2021. I don't think it really matters. Can you raise the NIL money to get the players that you need to compete today? I don't think what happened in the 1980s or the 1990s matters at all.
Dude, okay. Disclaimer here, because otherwise it would be hypocritical because of the show. We don't know who is on anybody's damn roster next season, okay? So you can't look ahead to 2024 and act like you know crap, okay?
No, of course not.
Huge disclaimer and caveat to what I'm about to say. Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
I pulled up their schedule for next season. Auburn. We don't know dates, but we know teams. That's where we are at this point.
Yep.
They'll win 3 or 4 of their non-cons, whatever. That's not changing anything either way.
Okay.
They have Cal at home, whatever.
They play Cal again?
2024 Auburn football schedule.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But they're SEC games. Who gives a shit if I'm wrong on the non-cons?
Okay.
At Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, at Georgia, at Kentucky, at Missouri. It's not the easiest schedule in the world.
No.
You could be in for brawls in Lexington and Columbia.
Well, you will.
Georgia and Alabama still on the schedule. That's not saying A&M and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's better prepared now than they were a year ago to come into the league.
Oh, for sure.
A&M's not going to suck talent-wise.
Oklahoma would beat the brakes off Auburn right now.
Yes. Oh, oof. You better get to work.
They do play Cal at home.
Okay, there you go.
Cool.
If you're doing stock, I'm selling. I guess that's my point as we close the segment. There's nothing about, I get they're recruiting really well. They are. There's no doubt. They're putting a good class together. A good high school class together.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back to what does that mean?
You giving time to build?
Well, that's the point. You better put a hell of a portal class together because you got to go now.
And everybody's in the portal.
You can't look at the freshmen and go, hey, when they're juniors. No.
No, it doesn't work like that. No.
No one has that level of patience anymore. It doesn't exist. Not a thing. Evaporated. I don't know. It's a bad look. They lose this week. It's going to be even worse next week. The statewide, not the Auburn beat writers, the statewide media hammering him to the level they have already is almost kind of shocking me. Again, the Goodman, the Skarbinski, it's just, damn.
A lot of those people are having a hard time, my opinion.
Yeah. I
don't know them. I haven't talked to Kevin in 20 years. I don't know Goodman. I don't know that he and I have ever met one another. But I have no issue with him. I don't know him. I'm going to go out on a limb and just go there kind of having either a hard time and or having fun with picking on Auburn a little bit that you didn't get your guy.
Oh.
You spent months saying you were going to get your guy. You didn't get him, and you end up hiring this guy that in the state of Alabama, let's be real, is the disgraced former Ole Miss coach who went to Liberty. Okay, that's what he is. He's not offensive genius. He's not. And look, I said this the other day. It worked at Ole Miss until it didn't. And when it didn't, it really didn't. And yet we never got to see 2017 with Freeze. It's a shame, frankly. It really is. It's a shame. Because we should have gotten to see it. Because it would have silenced a lot of this.
Yeah, sure.
But Ole Miss people have a view of him that's built. Now it's diminishing quickly.
Sure.
But there's a view of him that's built around 2013, 2014, 2015. 3 pretty good years for the school, included a Sugar Bowl, all that stuff, glory days, etc. Right? I get it. Auburn doesn't have that. Auburn doesn't look back at 2013, 2014 and go, oh, those were really special teams. No, it's whatever. And so they look back at Hugh Freeze as the guy that got fired at Ole Miss because he used a school card and a school phone to hire Asian massage escort, whatever you want to call them. And then he had to go to Liberty. And they hear Liberty, and they go Liberty, Bibberty, whatever. I mean, they did whatever, Liberty. Who cares, right? No one. He did a good job at Liberty. What was the big win at Liberty? He went to Arkansas and won. He beat a 7-6 Arkansas team in Fayetteville with KJ Jefferson hurt. Congrats. That gets you a lot of points in the Virginia area. It doesn't really score in the Birmingham, Mobile, Montgomery, Huntsville markets.
Okay, 2 things on that. Gonna hit them both, but we'll move on to Freeze after that. But I do have 2 Auburn thoughts that I think go with what you're talking about. We'll get to that in a second. First, you ready to elevate your college football game day experience? Check out Twisted Tea, your go-to game day beverage for college football fans. Twisted Tea is unlike any hard beverage you've had before. It's made with real brewed tea and packs a flavorful punch with 5% alcohol and no carbonation, delivering the perfect balance of taste and refreshment that goes down smooth for every occasion. No need to settle for the usual. Twisted Tea turns up any occasion, especially when you're cheering for your favorite team, when you're tailgating in the stadium, parking lot, watching in a bar, or hosting friends at home. It's there to elevate your game day experience and complement your love for college football and your passion for creating unforgettable moments. So let's toast to unforgettable game day experiences. Twisted Tea, the drink that fuels fun and celebrates your love for college football. Keep it twisted.
We'll have post-game coverage on Saturday evening. My post-game column will be presented by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors. If you're searching for residential or commercial properties in Oxford or Tupelo, contact Whitney for amazing professional service and support. Contact Whitney at tmhomes.com or 662-567-2573. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. A-Stock is a Nashville-based online retail company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at just $1, no matter what the retail value may be. Shop now at astock.bid. That's ASTOCK.BID. Or download their app, name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers. A-Stock has multiple locations around Nashville as well as Memphis, some in Indiana, and more that are coming soon, so don't miss out. And we're brought to you by the College Corner. If you're coming to Oxford this weekend for the Vanderbilt game, stop by the newest location in the Oxford Commons right off of Sisk Avenue. They'll have more than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear, plenty of parking available. Their staff will have you in and out and ready for the Grove in no time. It opens. It's opened back in mid-August. Check out their website, collegecornerstore.com, for more. They also have 2 locations in the Jackson area. And we're brought to you by Game Changer Patches, the only 2-patch system available in the market. Stop hangovers before they start. You got the warm-up patch, the overtime patch, to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for your next play. Go to GameChangerPatch.com, enter the promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase.
Podcast is brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. Single game football tickets on sale. That includes Vanderbilt this weekend, Texas A&M next week, OleMissTix.com. Season tickets for basketball, men's and women's on sale as well. And then general admission tickets for that Tad game coming up in November against Sam Houston State. Again, not being streamed, not on television. You have to be in attendance for the game at Tad Smith Coliseum. Again, that is OleMissTix.com. Also, that address for the baseball buying season tickets and renewals that started this month. So you get that baseball, basketball, football, all your options. OleMissTix.com. Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync. Free prescriptions the same day each month. Take care of you. They'll even transfer your medications. You make one phone call. They take care of the rest. That's Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs or G&M in Oxford, 662-236-2222. All right. The two things what you said, though. First, you mentioned Freeze's background, and sure, it's correct. That's who they hire, though. Look around. Look at their past hires. Gus, look where he'd been. It wasn't like he came from Alabama or Florida or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Chiswick, Iowa State. They were basically booing him on the damn tarmac that day when he came in. And then he did what he did. I mean, Tuberville was just from Ole Miss. I mean, it wasn't like he went and won 8 West titles. I mean, you know what I mean?
He was a good hire.
It's a good hire, but you know what I mean?
Tommy was a good hire.
That's 2 of 4 coaches they just took from Ole Miss in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like Auburn, they've never gone out and just went, we're going to go get the dude and go steal your coach.
Mm-mm.
So Freeze is no different really in that. Frankly, he's got a better resume than any of those other dudes.
Yeah, Brian Kelly wasn't thinking about the Auburn job.
Yeah, Harsin was not like, oh, God, look, everybody in the country wants your gig. I mean, you can argue Freeze has the best resume of any of those coaches the day they took the Auburn job. 2 Access Bowls.
Yeah.
Nobody else got that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think that's part of what plays into it, is when they start looking at his record, I think, while, yeah, they don't care about that Ole Miss 2012 team or 13 team or whatever, they're aware enough of Freeze immediately getting the big class, immediately sort of, they started, I think it was Jay's site. They started pulling Ole Miss passing stats from 2012 and Bo Wallace. They started comparing it to the 2011 team. You know what I mean? They saw this immediate build off what sucked. And in their minds, well, Auburn sucked last year, so why are you not doing the same thing here? They've created a false equivalent to even that early part of the Freeze
You almost
tenure.
got it. You almost got it. It's one of the reasons Jay and them struggle with this.
Yeah.
If he did that at Ole Miss,
correct. Yeah.
What will he do at Auburn? Exponentially more than that, because Auburn's so exponentially more than that's the problem. It's the inflated view. It's the guy that walks into the bar in his 40s when he was back in his early 20s. He could go in there and pretty much turn all the heads.
Now as good as I once was.
And now he can't. But he thinks he can.
Yeah.
And so he ends up just making a drunken ass of himself. Not the guy that walks in going, I know I'm not turning any heads in here. I'm just here to have a beer.
No, look, if he said that, and it's not picking on Jay, I mean, that is the epitome we're talking about. Grizz he said Access Bowls don't matter. It's about national titles.
Well, you're a long damn way from one right now.
I mean,
you're a long way.
Whew.
I mean,
you take a Sugar Bowl now.
Well, when we play this game, who wins a national title first? Auburn or, ready? Georgia. Tennessee.
Oh, it's Tennessee today.
Florida.
Coin flip. I don't know.
Florida.
You believe Billy Napier's winning a national title?
I believe Billy Napier's a much better coach than Hugh Freeze. I damn sure do. Absolutely.
I guess my point is I don't think either one of them are, and I don't know who they're hiring next.
Billy Napier had a lot of heat at the beginning of the year. People talk about let's fire Billy Napier.
Sure.
What did he do? Nose down.
He's done a good job.
Head down.
Mm-hmm.
They're better now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Kirby yesterday? Kirby doesn't do a lot of this. Kirby took shots at previous Florida.
Yeah.
And then praised this Florida.
It's also his buddy.
But it's buddy for a reason.
Yeah.
Napier learned on that Saban tree. Ole Miss's guy learned on the Saban tree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll continue. Missouri. National title first, which means you got to make the playoff. Who's closer to making a playoff right now?
I still want the Auburn program over the Missouri program.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Okay. We'll skip the rest of the East. Vanderbilt, Kentucky,
Yeah.
whatever. Alabama.
Alabama, A&M, and LSU for sure. Ole Miss is the first where you have a conversation. And Ole Miss is
not even
right
close
now.
right now.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Ole Miss can win games and get into the conversation today. Auburn can't.
And you can argue that Auburn's, quote, ahead of Mississippi State, of Arkansas. I'm like, I think they're right there with them. I think they're all sort of the same right now.
Their ceiling is just higher.
It is.
So,
but you gotta get. But it's been a minute.
But they are recruiting well
and then Texas,
nationally.
Sure. Texas and Oklahoma are coming in, and they're both far ahead.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if the standard is natties or nothing, my money's on nothing.
And when standard that doesn't make sense.
And when Hugh starts dropping ain't and stuff, he's emotional.
Yeah. No, that was my whole point is, look, I'm blaming Hugh Freeze. I'm also recognizing that he is to the level he is this quick because of the spotlight that is cooking him right now.
Yeah.
Boiling him from the inside.
Well, someone around him should have said, hey, you do know it gets hot down there, right? I mean, when you pack for a trip, do you check the weather forecast first? I do. I just went on a trip. I was gone for 3 days. I checked the weather forecast before I left. Hey, do I need to pack a jacket or not?
Yeah.
Do I need to pack some short sleeve shirts or not? Do I need to throw a couple pairs of shorts in there? Yeah, it's going to be hot. Someone should have told him, hey, you know, it's going to get pretty hot down there. Huh? Figuratively, it's going to get pretty hot. You better wear your sunscreen, Hugh. Better pack one of those big hats. Put your sunglasses on. Oh, and it gets loud, Hugh. Really loud. Better make sure you pack your noise-canceling pods. It's going to get really loud. And it's like no one told him that. Why? Because the guy surrounds himself with people who just kiss his ass.
And all the West teams are about to get a little easier break with no divisions, at least in today's entities.
Sure.
I say that. Frankly, the East is a little better than we give them credit for being. Florida's going to be pretty good, and Missouri's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they both coaches who, again, Drinkwitz caught a lot of heat early this year, and he just sort of grinded through it. Kiffin, to his credit, got a lot of heat last year.
Yeah.
And he kind of owned it. If you listen to what he says, hey, we figured out we had to make a better team.
Yeah. Roster management and his own sideshow, both.
I mean, I thought this week Kiffin has said a lot of things that were quite enlightening about the process. They did do a self-autopsy after last season. And apparently let it hurt. Tough league, man. There's some really good. Listen, some really good coaches in this thing. Kirby Smart's a damn good coach. He's damn good. You can hate Georgia. You can whatever you want to do. Oh, they go by all the players. You can do the thing with Alabama about they know when to go. They never call holding on Alabama. Whatever you want to do on Alabama, whatever. He's got Jalen Milroe with one loss. He's a damn fine coach still in his 70s. And that is the beginning of the environment that you compete against at Auburn. Yeah, he's recruiting well. So is everybody else.
I mean, grind, like from a self-analysis standpoint, I understand why they're in a weird spot trying to analyze what they are. He says Auburn, Oregon, and Ohio State have played in the same number of national titles since 2010. 2 for all programs. The problem is you can't take those 2 appearances away, so it puts Auburn in a weird spot. No many programs can go 3-9 and win a championship. It's a ton of variance. It's true. They've capitalized when they have been really good. They've also beaten Alabama and Georgia in a season and given Gus a dumb contract and had to get out of it. Like
everybody does the dumb contract thing.
Yeah,
I'll give them a pass on that.
My point is they didn't win. It wasn't like they went unbeaten. No, they lost other games, but went crazy over 2 games.
Sure.
I guess we're doing it because of Freeze and Ole Miss just playing them, but also Auburn is the most fascinating program in the league to me from this standpoint of like them identifying what they're supposed to be. Because I watch them be schizophrenic because they can't figure it out and it's all over the place. Because they want to go, hey, 7-5 is a pretty good season, and go, can't do that though.
They are literally the guy that walks into the bar thinking that he is the deal. He is going to he can take anybody's girl tonight. She'll just leave on his arm. When in reality, that girl's not even paying attention to him. She didn't even notice him. Oh, did you see that guy? What guy? I didn't. Who are you talking about? She's just there to hang out with her friends. She didn't pay a lick of attention to him. But he walks out going, she wants me. That's where they are right now. And frankly, there's nobody more obnoxious in society than that. So we'll see. Because here's the deal. If he needs it's just going to get hotter. It's just going to get louder. This is the quiet part. Because nobody is realistically talking about what's next yet. He's going to get more time. He's definitely getting another year, and he's probably getting 2 more years. But he better start. But my point is, if he thinks this is loud and he thinks this is hot, he's seen nothing yet.
Can he get a 4th year without beating Alabama or Georgia once? Can you go 0-6 against those 2 schools and get a 4th year no matter what you do elsewhere?
I mean, I don't know their financial situation, but no.
When has that really ever mattered? Don't you just figure that out?
I mean, it might matter if we have a national recession next year and people don't have any money.
Okay. But in general, that is not a completely lack of a.
No, I mean, you got to win those games. Gus got that big contract because he did win those 2 games. I mean, he did.
Mm-hmm.
The kick 6 happened. The crazy play against Georgia happened. Made people super happy.
Yeah, you get paid for memories. Welcome to college football.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's true.
People were ignoring a lot of the warning signs with freeze because of the couple of memories. Happens everywhere. Until the memories go away.
And then suddenly, I'm merely killing a couple minutes. We're going to go into Major League Baseball and some other stuff in a second. I guess it's the weather, and like this is, I know everybody's bracing or whatever. This is not even a political thing, but I saw they have a state dinner with Australia tonight. You see this?
Do what now? I was reading about something about Freeze and his daughter. I'm sorry.
Well, what? Oh.
Freeze preaching about how he learned his daughter lost her, quote, purity, end quote.
That's the thing?
It's got to be a joke.
Yeah, stop. Don't.
I need.
I'll be honest. I don't want to know. Just stop.
I don't either.
Just stop. I even if that is real or true, I don't want to know.
I do sometimes feel sorry for the kids.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not their fault.
This is a temperature conversation for 3 minutes because just 3 minutes. I'm going to move on to a break. There's a state dinner tonight with Australia. Were you aware of that?
I was not.
Okay, yes. We have a state dinner with Australia tonight. I mean, not like those are huge news or whatever, but anyway. I saw the menu this morning.
Are we sending Biden or his body double?
I was waiting. Go ahead. Get it off. It's here.
Okay, is everybody vaccinated?
I don't know.
You cover that ground, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. The venue is tons of root vegetables. It's still really hot outside to an extent. I'm surprised they went. Is it cold, like pretty chilly in the Northeast?
I mean, I could look it up.
I don't care. I just saw the menu and went, it's not like I get it and we're doing the fall theme, but I wouldn't have thought like tons of root vegetables for what's going on today as it's going.
I'm going to get the weather.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I just
DC.
I noticed it on my little newsletter this morning.
63 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 56 right now in DC. The high today is 78. Sunny. Low tonight of 51. So a very pleasant evening.
Farro and roasted beet salad, popped sorghum with herb vinaigrette, which is basically popcorn but higher protein, less sugar.
Right.
Butternut squash soup, smoked paprika, candied pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
That's all the first course.
Okay.
The main course is braised short ribs with sorghum glazed young carrots and Brussels sprouts with celery root puree and carrot jus.
Okay.
What is carrot jus? How do you make that? I mean, I get what it is, but how do you make it?
You juice the carrots, I would think.
And just use,
And
like, put it in the pot and let it.
I guess you would cook them in the pot, and then you'd use the sauce that sort of extracted from the juice.
The sauce glaze, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And then hazelnut and chocolate mousse cake with creme fraiche ice cream.
Oh.
The hazelnut and chocolate mousse cake does sound really good.
Yeah, it does.
I know you're more of a peanut butter guy, but
I like hazelnut. I like hazelnut a lot, yeah.
I try to stay away from Nutella, though. Look at the back of the jar before you start going crazy. Like, I've never been big into it, but like even like for the kids and stuff, you look at it and you go, oh my God. Like,
there's no nutritional value there.
It's not peanut butter.
No.
it's like, whoa. I do love a short rib now. I mean, properly cooked short rib, and
it's pretty good.
You're in business. Yeah, they can take or leave the beet salad. That doesn't do much for me, but
yeah, I'm not a beet salad person.
It might be one of my least favorite vegetables.
Yeah, I like butternut squash. Not the only squash that I like, but I like butternut squash.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You don't like spaghetti squash either, though, do you?
It's okay.
Do you really? Can you substitute it as pasta?
I mean, I've done it, but it's not my thing.
Like back when I used to do Whole30 occasionally, they would want you to do carbonara and then sub the spaghetti squash with the carbonara. Oh God! Like God!
It's one of those things where there are healthier versions of pasta that you can have. You can get the whole wheat pasta. It's okay. Pasta is one of those things too. It's all about moderation.
A pound of any of it is still a pound of whatever at that point. Anyway, I don't know how I necessarily got there. It just kind of happened, but that's okay. Whatever. Podcast brought to you by Prime Shrimp. PrimeShrimp.com. 7 different flavors available for you. Everything from the signature, their garlic, their kind of all-purpose, versatile option, the New-style barbecue, the garlic herb butter, lemon cracked pepper. So many different things that you should try them all. And you can do that with our help, because if you get at least 5 pouches or more, 25% off using code RG with PrimeShrimp.com. That's 5 pouches or more, 25% off, code RG. They mail it right to you. You throw it in the freezer, then 10 minutes, freezer to plate, ready to go. If you need help with dinner tonight, make it fast. Kids have activities, tons of ways to use it. Salads, protein, snacks, and more. So that's PrimeShrimp.com. Again, 5 pouches or more, 25% off with code RG.
Brought to you by Pinnacle. Pinnacle based in Jackson, Mississippi. They've got clients in multiple states, advisors in multiple states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So Pinnacle will sit down with you. They'll study your goals, look at your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling, you want a special trip that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John, give him some parameters, give him a budget. He's going to give you options that you're going to have a difficult time finding on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant, OPA, is a perfect place to plan your Christmas dinner, your company dinner, your festive party event. OPA can accommodate up to 200 guests. They have fabulous food, great craft libations as well. For catering or booking information, contact Jeannie 601-421-7147. And we're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, they can help you whether you're seeking an entry-level position or if you're a seasoned professional. They've got opportunities across the board. If your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can help you as well. It's 662-832-5138. Ask for Will, Sydney, or Kelsey, or give them a call at on their website, servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive? Are you wanting to put your career in your own hands? If you are, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or 404-973-9901.
Fall is here, gentlemen. It's about to get busy during the holidays. Don't let that stop you from sticking to your habits and doing the best version of yourself. That's where our friends at Caldera Lab come in. They're the best in the skincare game with an easy routine. They keep your face looking pretty no matter your schedule. Plus, what's better gift than a clear skin? Join the other 100,000 men who trust Caldera Lab to show your best self and first impressions this fall. Plus, it's a great gift. Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup twice a day routine to transform your skin. I know the skincare world is heavily female-driven and long been the wild, wild west for men. That's why they're making it simple. They got 3 products: the Clean Slate, the Base Layer, and the Good. The Clean Slate starts and ends your day. The Base Layer is your daily moisturizer to hydrate your skin, and the Good is your go-to multifunctional serum at night to help your skin look tighter and smoother, reduce visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. They're the leader in men's skincare, made with top-tier ingredients, and clinical trials have found 94% of men showed an overall younger-looking appearance after using Caldera Lab for just a few weeks. 1 minute in the morning, 1 minute at night is all you need to reduce your wrinkles, and we're going to help you out. Just for our audience, we have an exclusive deal. You're not beating this offer. Use MPW at calderalab.com and get 20% off right now. That's 20% off with code MPW at calderalab.com to make an unforgettable first impression and the best gift for the holidays. Podcast also brought to you by Northeast Spark, NESPARC. 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. So again, get the best internet in Lafayette County. That's 662-238-3159.
Did Oxford solve the big crime caper
I
yesterday?
have not seen.
Have we reached a conclusion on that? Have we locked those scoundrels up?
Well, I was about to say, it's kind of the epitome. You and I were having a conversation before we started the show this morning about the extremism that goes on in this country. And it's a pretty good example of that, because when you check the comments, it was either they should never be punished at all, and it was the city's fault for putting something in that could be pushed over, or put them in jail for life. And there was like very few wins in the middle. And I went, hold on a minute. Like, how about we just make them pay for it and punish them a little bit and not end their life? How about that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like,
I did have one question. This is not about the police part of this. I was unfamiliar with the park. As you know, I don't spend a lot of time around the square.
Yeah.
It just looks like they kind of decorated an alley a little bit, and they put a big sphere up, but
it's a ball that is a sphere that is constantly moving, and it does the little water structure off of it.
But it's
we have not pushed it off its base, but my daughter does kind of like running her hand over it occasionally. So thankfully, I was not involved in this caper.
But from the looks of it, I mean, if Carly Ann had just applied a little pressure, she might be locked up for life here. I mean, it didn't look like it required a tremendous amount of strength to push it off its base.
I don't know this. I have not talked to anyone at OPD or Robin about this particular incident. My guess is they're doing a little bit of public shaming, and they are trying to scare them a little bit by mentioning felony all over the place, which frankly, I don't mind. It's probably as much a deterrent as actually paying it back. It's fine. Like I told you yesterday, some parents got some phone calls where they were real pissed yesterday. They went, hold on, you did what?
I mean, the part I just kept coming away, I was like, neither one appears to be great bodybuilders. I mean, they're not. I mean, I go to the gym and I see.
Well, I don't think anybody was expecting to see who would push on it and try to roll it down the hill at the same time. I mean,
that's true.
I mean,
I just would have thought it would have taken a little more strength to push it off.
It cracked it, apparently, so it has to be completely replaced.
Right.
Is the way I interpret it. Because that was also a huge social media thing yesterday was, why does that cost $5,000? It's like, well, the ball broke. I don't know. I mean, I have walked through the Pocket Park a couple times. I have not really paid attention to the sturdiness of said ball for the most part.
Yeah, I was completely unfamiliar with it. Someone said Pocket Park. I'm like, what is that?
There's a couple pocket parks around town.
Yeah.
They've taken little spaces.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, it was also right beside City Hall. I mean, if you're going to do something that is termed vandalism,
you got to think there's
probably
some
cameras next to City Hall. I'm just saying. There's frankly cameras everywhere.
Going out on a limb and saying there's also a good bit of alcohol involved.
You don't think at 1:15 in the morning or whatever that was, somebody went, "Hey, we're just walking over completely sober. Let's go push the ball."
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that nobody in their party was like, "Hey, there's probably cameras there at City Hall next door to the Pocket Park."
I mean, you can go see the video. It's all there. Did you watch last night?
Oh,
baseball. Sorry, not the video.
Yeah, no, I did not watch the video anymore. It's not all that compelling after a while. Yeah, I watched a good bit of Phillies Diamondbacks. Kind of watched sort of stunned a little bit as the Diamondbacks just silenced that crowd. And then I watched a fairly decent amount of Nuggets Lakers.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm impressed by the little Starship robots that take food all over campus. Like, I'll be honest, those things not getting run over by anything. I'm very impressed by their ability to avoid traffic. It actually scares me that some Final Destination robots are going to take over one day, because
I'm always surprised that more like just college kids
don't mess with them.
Pranking, don't just grab the food.
Oh, that it actually runs as a system the way it's supposed to?
Yeah.
Does it make you actually like our world a little better that they let the food get to where it's supposed to go? When we can run this honor system of takeout.
When I think about it, it does sort of provide a degree of hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they'll start getting off the sidewalk, and if there's a car coming, they scurry back like a cat. I mean, it's like back and forth and start going, and then they zip across when they think it's clear. They're kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Yeah. Edward said he's seen one run over and one stolen.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it's not 100%.
Yeah, but it's enough where they haven't stopped. I mean, it clearly runs.
The fact that
the scrap percentage is very low.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, whatever that looks like. Now I know everybody wants to make fun of the Phillies. I'm having a tough time doing that, which I don't know.
Why are we doing that and not just praising the Diamondbacks for this was a team that 2 years ago lost 110 games. They rebuilt from within. I mean, they have a collection of young players, and they got hot. I mean, look, my team paid the price.
It's kind of the thing, though. Is this silencing or making it worse that two wildcard teams are in about the whole it's not the right thing for the best teams? Because we're seeing great baseball. Mm-hmm. We're seeing a good product. It's not like somebody limped in.
Well, and it's not like the Rangers were red hot at the end. The Rangers sort of blew the division at the end. I mean, they went on a losing streak towards the end, to the point that they had to fly across the country over Dallas to get to Tampa to go play in the first round. Mm-hmm. And then they just played good baseball. They won. Or wherever they went to Baltimore, wherever they went, whatever. They had to cross the country. I don't know. I mean, you can do the argument about there's a way to do this better and all of that, and that's fine. Atlanta won a bunch of games, they didn't make it. Baltimore won a bunch of games, they didn't make it. I think you can also say it's just hard to win a championship. It's really hard to win a championship, and when you win one, it's precious. That's the bottom line. And Arizona got hot, and they're young, and they're kind of fearless. And look, they get popped those two games in Philadelphia, games 1 and 2. I mean, game 2 was a laugher. And they go back to Arizona, and their fans Philadelphia people were buying tickets and not using them so that the stadium wouldn't be full. Mm-hmm. And that game 3, I was driving, and then I saw the end of it in my hotel. That game 3, they're on the precipice of getting beat. And they survived it. And then they rallied to win game 4 in kind of dramatic fashion. And you know the rest. And then they lose game 5. And now you got to go back to Philadelphia and they hear all this stuff about the crowd. And the Philadelphia people are there ready to party in game 6. And they won. Their young guys pitched their asses off. And Corbin Carroll, who's is a lock for National League Rookie of the Year, has a great night. They get some big hits. They just make plays, and there were a couple of moments where, Harper was up in big moments, and they got him out.
Yeah, I was finding that, and nothing against Diamondbacks. We'll talk about them. Yeah, sure, they've rebuilt. They're doing a hell of a job. They had a chance at a world championship, and it's a compelling series for somebody who just likes baseball. Now, the overall ratings are going to be bad because you don't have a main team in it. I mean, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
But it's compelling baseball if you're aware of the stories. I guess when that game was over last night, I was more thinking about the Phillies. To what you said, they've done a hell of a job. They've been hot 2 years in a row at the right time, and yet they still don't have a championship.
Yeah.
They blew 2-0 and 3-1 leads.
Yeah.
Losing 2 home games where you were supposed to be this dominant crowd and all this stuff, and everything's going for you, and you got the stare downs, and you beat the Braves and everything, and yet you don't have a title. And your window is not closing.
Well, no, but every time you don't get it, every time you don't get it, it closes. Yeah, sure. Well, the other thing is that they built this team around power. And God, when they're all hitting home runs, it's spectacular. But last night, they kind of got beat small ball.
Yeah, that's the juxtaposition. The players are pretty likable. The fan base is intolerable. That's a good way to put it.
Right. But
it's kind of the way I was with Astros and Phillies to a point.
But they built their team around Kyle Schwarber, who's an all-or-nothing guy. And God, when he hits one, and I love Schwarber, I always will. But when he hits one, I mean, it's like, that is majestic. But he strikes out a lot.
He had the big double last night that I thought might get them back right there in the middle innings. And just never did.
Castellanos went ice cold in this series after being incredible in the Braves series. He just went cold. 0 for 20.
It happens.
It happens. And he's a streaky hitter. And Nola wasn't terrific in Game 6. Ranger Suarez was pretty good in Game 7. He just couldn't quite get out of the 5th and gave up the hits. And
it's also on the offense. You get a score.
Sure.
You scored 2, and I mean, Fott did a good job, but
Arizona,
you're seeing him twice in 5 days or something. I mean,
Arizona moved a runner over, drove him in. They did some little stuff, and they're young and they're kind of fearless. And
who will you find yourself pulling for?
I don't know.
My guess is Texas, but I have no real reason. I don't think.
My guess is probably Texas because of where I grew up. There are a decent amount of Rangers fans.
Okay. I guess our boy Dave's going to cover a World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hadn't thought about that. I don't think I don't know a player on either team, though, I don't think. Pretty sure I don't.
If there is one, I can't think of him right now.
But yes, very, very poor ratings are about to happen. Yes, mediocrity is the worst thing you can be in anything.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because the problem with mediocrity is you also think you're building, and you're not. Oh, we're just one thing away. No, you're not. Not at all. I did not see Mintz's video. What happened?
I don't know. I'm talking to Ben later. I'll ask.
Okay. Apparently, he was doing a video. I knew he was doing a video after the game on Thursday. He was at the Jags-Saints game. The Saints lost when Foster Moreau dropped a touchdown with like 10 seconds to go. Felt terrible for him. He's overcome a ton. He was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. Basically crying, walking off the field. Saints aren't going anywhere anyway, so it wasn't about the loss. I was hurting for the player, not for the situation. Because whatever.
That probably didn't cost the Saints a trip to Vegas.
No. I mean, that might be what I do. I might look at the roster and start like going, okay, I like more players on this team than that team. Sure. I seriously might need to pull the roster up and go, no, I kind of like following these people versus these people.
I mean, if you're inclined to cheer for Cinderella, you'll probably end up cheering for the Diamondbacks. I mean, they're a team in a division where literally no one talked about them at all.
Sure.
Talked about the Dodgers. The Padres were a hot team. The Giants were a hot team.
Who just hired Bob Melvin yesterday, by the way, the Padres manager.
Yeah.
So was it San Diego that sucked, or was it Melvin?
Or did Melvin? That's interesting. Or did Melvin go get me out of here?
Yeah, please. I will take your gig. I would rather coach the Giants. They have a better front office.
Oh, not even close. The Padres deal is, hey, let's just throw money at this. And that doesn't always work. Arizona says hello. It's remarkable. 2 years ago, they lost 110 games.
Is it that many?
110. 52 and 110.
I didn't know it was that many.
110.
Yeah, I don't know a player on the Diamondbacks.
God, the Rangers were a strike away in 2013.
When David Freese hit the home run.
One strike away.
I was really rooting for them in that game. Just because they were one strike.
Yeah.
Well, duh. Okay. Neal wasn't as invested as you can be invested in a non-Cubs game at that point.
I was bleeding red and blue that night.
Rangers everywhere.
I mean, go Texas.
But when it happens, you go, of course it did.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You go, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hell, I had the champagne ready. I mean, can't even imagine what a Rangers fan felt like. I mean, I was in Montgomery, if I remember right, in a hotel. I literally had a bottle.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was going to celebrate.
It's terrible. Tommy Pham is an Diamondback, so we do have some former Cardinals.
Yeah. I still have some PTSD involving him.
Do you really?
A little bit.
From what?
I didn't like him as a Cardinal at all. He was one of my more hated Cardinals.
Why?
Just talks a lot.
But
so I hated him.
But okay. But
it's a complicated thing, man. I can't make you identify with this.
It's a random dude, though.
Well, I've hated
Wasn't a star.
I've hated a lot of random dudes on that team.
It's not like Yadier Molina or Adam Wainwright. Like,
it's like Randall Grichuk. They told me, his story, and his story is kind of tragic. And you're like, oh, damn it. Don't make me like this guy. I just spent 2 years hating him. That's the problem with
you don't want to know the people because then suddenly.
No. Yeah. And then, the more you read about Adam Wainwright, the more you're like, oh, he's a really good dude. He and I would probably like each other. Damn it.
You think it was really off the cuff, Barkley asking Adam Silver about domestic violence?
Looked like it.
They say it was.
Yeah, I think it was. Silver did not appear to know that question was coming.
I give a lot of credit if that's the case here.
I'll give a ton of credit to Charles. Charles Barkley's great. Charles Barkley's a national treasure. I don't know how much of that show you watch. It is an
excellent show, even for somebody who does not follow the NBA that closely.
Yeah, and if you like the NBA, that show is the holy grail. It is fantastic. They're all incredibly talented.
So for anybody that's been under a rock,
Shaq does not get enough credit for being the TV personality that he has become.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie Johnson's one of the best.
Oh, he's awesome.
Broadcast / anchors of our time.
Yeah, and
Charles Barkley is he is spectacular, and Kenny Smith is fine. He's the worst one. But Barkley's fantastic and is more than just the comedian that people try to portray him as. Charles Barkley's a serious person.
So in an era where everything is known beforehand and you barely get off the cuff stuff, and frankly, it's why podcasts are so light because sometimes you do get just real conversations that don't have to be expected. Barkley talking to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver on the opening night of the season last night. They were supposed to go to commercial, and he stopped it. He said, no, I have a serious question to ask. We're not going to do that right now at that point. And his question was, I've got it here. There have been a couple disturbing incidents of domestic violence in the NBA right now. What are we doing to address that? He asked before continuing, because you can't put your hands on women, man, and we should be on the forefront in sports. So what are we as a league going to do about that? Reading from The Athletic, Silver appeared to deflect the question initially by saying the league was not in competition with other sports to be at the forefront of the issue. Really bad answer there. He went on to credit the Players Association for being on board with a revamped program to handle domestic violence accusations, stopped short of offering new solutions or ideas about the latest incidents and how they should be handled, but said preventing domestic violence involved training and counseling. Quote, so we are addressing it. We have state-of-the-art counseling professionals dealing with our players. But, of course, if a guy does cross the line, the consequences are enormous.
Yeah, that's the reason
it was a bad answer.
I'm 100% convinced it was
because he had nothing prepared.
No, and he stumbled. He stumbled through the beginning of it badly.
Yeah.
I mean, he fixed himself.
We're not in competition to be at the forefront, huh?
Yeah, come on.
No,
you have a problem, and at a time when, frankly, the league has never, and I mean never, had more talent than it has today. It's never been more. There's never been more parity than there is today. I mean, you look at the Western Conference alone. There are going to be at least 2 good teams that don't make the play-in. I mean, it's loaded. I mean, there's variance. Like, we'll take the Grizzlies, for example. The Grizzlies could be the best team in the West, or they could finish 7th. You don't get that type of variance in most sports.
Mm-hmm.
You get it in that league right now. You didn't used to. It used to go into the season, it's like, okay, well, there are like 3 teams that can win. We're not far removed from going into seasons like, well, it's the Warriors. They built this super team and nobody can compete with them, and this is boring. We're past that now. But you can't have some of the domestic violence type stuff. That is the type of stuff, and Barkley's exactly right. That is the type of stuff that will destroy a league. It will destroy it.
Silver was caught off guard. He probably also had to be somewhat careful. He could use better words. His words were terrible, but it's all collectively bargained. So it's not like he has supreme ability to do whatever, too. It's probably was like, hell, okay.
Yeah, but he could have said it's
oh, no, look, you just condemn it and go, hey, we're really working on it. We're not going to tolerate it. Okay, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Peace.
He should, I mean, he could say something along the lines, which is what he needs to say, which is, I will do everything in my power to make sure that anybody who is convicted of domestic violence
faces enormous consequences.
Never plays in this league again. Because that's the only fix, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only fix. Is I don't care how good you are. If it's proven that you did it, not that you got accused, but proven that you did it, you don't play in this league again.
No, that is one thing the NBA does fairly well compared to a lot of leagues, is let the process play out. Not a lot of quick, hey, okay, if you're guilty, you're done, but be guilty.
Yeah, but it can't be false accusations. You got to make sure that something legitimately happened.
Austin, thanks for Super Chat, says that the Grizzlies in Memphis in 15 years. Definitely a question for you, not me.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not my. We can ask Jeffrey.
We can ask Jeffrey tomorrow morning.
I mean, like I know in Oklahoma City right now, they've got a big proposal coming up that's got to get voted yes. And if it's voted yes, the Thunder will be there for 50 years. If it's voted no, all bets are off.
Yeah.
I think it will be voted yes because most people understand the value
of having them.
I mean, look, if you're living in Memphis and that's your one professional franchise, you need to understand that franchise does potentially so much for you on so many levels, and you can't let it leave because if you let it leave, you're never getting another one.
Yeah.
You're fortunate to have it.
Yeah.
You'll never get another one.
They're all
back.
valuable, but when it's the only one, it's to an exponential level that is hard to put into words.
Yeah. And I mean,
you're either a professional sports town or you are not.
And what that does, I think, for the morale of a city when you're in a playoff series, I mean, it's different. It's electric. People rally around postseasons. You see it all the time.
Yeah. What the Grizzlies done in Memphis, what every time they're decent, the Saints do in New Orleans. Having that team that.
Look, I mean, New Orleans is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
If the Saints had left for San Antonio, New Orleans is not the city it is today.
No. That was close.
It was real close.
All it took was a rigged draft and a few things and got that thing done.
Look at you.
I believe that one.
You think they rigged the draft to get Reggie Bush to New Orleans?
Yeah.
Interesting.
On the mailbags where they go, what is the conspiracy theory you actually believe in? I believe that. I think tampering happened to get Reggie Bush to New Orleans. Yes. You can call it tampering, call it rigging the draft. However you want to do it. I don't know the specifics, but yes, I fully believe that.
I can remember just being shocked when the news came out that the Texans
because it was Mario Williams,
yes.
Reggie, and DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the news came out that the Texans were drafting
Mario Williams,
I was like, "Oh my God, that's wild."
NC State, is that right?
Mario Williams was. That sounds right.
Is it NC State?
Because DeBrickashaw Ferguson was at Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I buy it. Again, I don't know who was involved. I don't exactly, but I've read a lot, talked to people.
So you think the NBA, the NFL talked the Texans into doing this for the betterment of just
maybe some people got some stuff. I'm sure that, there would be, if my theory is correct, yes, obviously there would be massive kickbacks.
Somebody knew something about somebody and said, hey, you, not only will they not reveal this, but here's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, I fully believe. Would that have been Tagliabue at the time?
That sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, make fun of me all you want, people. I'm telling you, I believe it. Let's do. So, all right. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Turn to HelloFresh Market for yummy add-ons and enjoy the season's limited time fall flavors lineup. Feast on desserts like the apple cider cake, caramel sauce. Please a crowd with appetizers like the barbecue pulled pork nachos. And don't forget the mini pumpkin cheesecake, perfect for a me time treat. We all know HelloFresh takes the hassle out of mealtime, but it can also save you money. HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout. That means you get an easy home-cooked meal on the table and more money back on your pocket. I've used it a lot over the course of the years. Again, with busy schedules and whatnot, they make it easy. You don't have to be a chef to put the meals on the tables. It's all very easily done there with HelloFresh. So go to HelloFresh.com/50MPW. Use code 50MPW for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50MPW.
Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. A lot offered at Southern Traditions. Horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to advanced to competing in nationally recognized competitions. It's also a great venue for events, so get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. Would you like some peace of mind knowing that your roof is taken care of? Whether you need an inspection, a new roof, or a maintenance program, Riverland Roofing has you covered. Home or business, as a GAF Master Elite contractor, they can offer warranties that last a lifetime. Licensed and insured, Riverland services Mississippi and its surrounding states. So text or call Riverland today at 662-644-4297. Are you ready for the ultimate college experience? Welcome to College Town, Oxford, your new home away from home. They know you want the best. That's exactly what they offer. No more long commutes or missing out on campus events at Ole Miss. College Town Oxford is right next door to the Ole Miss campus, offering spacious 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom cottages, each with individual leases, because they believe in flexibility and simplicity. Their incredible amenities will have you feeling like you're living in a resort. So whether it's a weekend binge watch session or hosting the best game day parties, you'll do it in comfort and style, cheering on the Rebels with your friends. The community is designed to give you the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. So don't break up the gang. Grab your friends, pick out your favorite floor plan, reserve it today at collegetownoxford.com. You can also text their VIP list and be the first to know when leasing for fall 2024 is open. 662-300-3733.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com. Vanderbilt this weekend, Texas A&M next week. Let them take care of your tailgate packages. They feed 10, 20, or 40. They make it easy. Season winding down, but huge games remaining. Let them help you out. It's easy. All you got to do is tell them what game you want to order food for and where you'd like to pick up on Friday or Saturday. You can pick up right there at Chicory Market in Oxford. Everything from their charcuterie trays, their grazing trays, their artisanal cheese trays. They make the cheeses locally and in-house every day. They got sandwich trays, the cheesecake dip that's a huge favorite, cookies, brownies, and much more. So you order right there online. Don't even have to talk to anybody. It's johnsonhillcreamery.com. I saw this morning. Let me try to find it. Thought it was an interesting marketing thing. That Sphere in Vegas is being a huge draw for a number of reasons. Really cool what it's been able to do.
Can't push that one off its base.
It's true. We are talking about multiple spheres on today's podcast. Potpourri indeed. That is the New Jersey sponsor. The New York Knicks is the venue, the Sphere in Vegas.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It looks really cool. They were building it the last time I was there.
Yeah, I was looking here. Let me find it. I had it up a second ago. It was in one of my things this morning. That I found these few paragraphs kind of interesting because I find the jersey sponsorship interesting in general. It's an easy sponsorship. It's a huge sponsorship for every team. The ones that don't have it, I'm almost confused. Like I don't get it because it's kind of back to that thing of anything's better than nothing if you're bringing it in.
Yeah,
if you have the right brand and the right draw, I guess. I mean, does it come from soccer? Is that where this started? Like, what caused the NBA to go this route?
You have soccer.
Was it soccer?
Revenues, just ways to make money.
But there have been some interesting ones this year. I guess that's what I was getting at is that you got the Sphere for the Knicks, and then the Hornets are going with Feastables this year, which is Mr. Beast Snack Company, the social media influencer. So the top YouTube person in the world. First time a social media influencer has had a product that is on the jersey of an American sports team. The Washington Wizards, who had been without a sponsor since 2021, are going with the stock trading app Robinhood this year.
Okay.
So that's one that they're doing. And then this is not a shock, but the Miami Heat now going with Mickey Arison's Carnival Cruise Line, the owner, putting his own company on the jerseys there in Miami. What?
Just laughing. The Sphere is owned by MSG, so that makes
sense.
It
is. Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. Here's my thing, though. You watch a ton of NBA.
Yeah.
How much do you focus on it? How many can you get right on what companies are on jersey number?
Probably not much at all.
Boston Celtics.
Do it the other way. Tell me the name.
Okay.
The name of the thing, and
I
might be able to go like that.
All right. Qualtrics. 5 for the Fight.
No idea.
The Utah Jazz.
Okay.
Live View Technologies is what it is now. They've changed some names and things. Sun Life Financial.
That's the the Phoenix Suns?
That's the Toronto Raptors.
Raptors, okay.
PayPal.
The Boston Celtics.
Phoenix Suns.
Oh, I was close.
Dialpad.
No clue.
Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
Loves.
It's the Thunder.
Walt Disney World.
The Magic.
Okay. There is a little bit of, you can sort of, crypto.com.
Oh, wait, I did see this one. Because I was looking at, they were breaking out the city jerseys, and I remember seeing the crypto. I can't remember the team.
The 76ers.
Okay.
Ibotta.
No clue.
This team from 2017 to 2020 was Zatarans.
Is that the Pelicans?
That is the Pelicans.
Okay.
Yes. That is correct. Dialpad.
You just asked that one.
Okay, sorry. Self Financial.
Who?
Self Financial. Sorry.
No clue.
Spurs.
Okay.
Bibigo.
No clue.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
One that I guess that's my point is we see the Lakers nonstop.
Yeah,
and
I have people who go, they're like just morally opposed to this. I'm like, you don't even notice. It just
Ibotta, by the way, is also on the Nuggets.
Okay.
So they are jumping all in.
So they had a big night last night.
Motorola is the Bulls.
Okay.
Vistaprint is the Celtics.
Okay.
It's a random one.
That is random.
They were General Electric from 17 to 20.
Is Warriors still recruiting?
Yes, that's correct. There are some teams that do not have one currently. Several. At least per the article I'm reading right now.
Yeah.
The Hawks are without right now. They were ShareCare through last year.
Oh.
The Pacers do not currently have one. They were Motorola again through last year. The Clippers were Bumble.
Oh, I remember that.
They don't have one currently. The Grizzlies do not have one currently. Surprised it's not just constantly FedEx. That surprises me a little bit. Trailblazers currently without. They haven't had one since 2021 when it was BioFreeze.
Oh.
And the Wizards either don't have one or just got one. I'm not sure which one.
I just never noticed.
Oh, Wizards Robinhood. Sorry. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
They just don't bother me at all. I mean, like,
it's fine.
There are Thunder people who don't like the Loves logo because it's so bright, and I'm like, I
mean, y'all use all the colors anyway. I mean,
yeah, my kids don't. It doesn't phase me at all.
There's not a shade that the Thunder is upset to use.
No, they pretty much cover all the colors.
Do they have some new uniforms this year?
They've got a new city edition uniform it's fine. It's actually one of the better ones. They're
How often do we wear city uniforms?
They'll wear them like 10 times.
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
Okay. It's simply to get more merchandise.
Yeah, sure, of course. And it's fine. I mean, the Thunder are sort of known for having pretty boring uniforms.
That's a thing.
That's sort of their deal.
Okay.
I don't think they meant, hey, let's be boring. I just think boring happened.
Penn State of the NBA.
They're not that boring, but yeah, they're along those lines. A lot of the Thunder people came from the Spurs organization.
Oh, yeah.
And so boredom is sort of ingrained
in the
culture.
Upon.
Right.
So I see the Nuggets rings that they get. There's been a big, it used to be the other company, which is it Jostens or whatever, and now it's Jason of Beverly Hills that does almost all of the rings. $30,000 more per ring than the Lakers the year before, or whenever they won their title.
Inflation.
A little bit, but also it is spectacular. It is huge, and it even includes an insert that when you pull the insert out of the ring, it shows the championship banner on it.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. You can take the side of the ring and kind of slide it out, and it has the banner involved in it. Forever, they've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger since the beginning of time. It's essentially, though, and I think I've had to kind of change my mindset because I've made fun of them getting bigger for a long time, just simply because they're not wearable. I mean, they weigh like 20 pounds. I'm being facetious, but they're huge, and I mean, they're not practical at any point. But they're just individual trophies at this point.
Yeah. Oh, I see
the insert.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? They cost as much as $150,000 per ring.
I mean, they're very nice.
Well, yeah. But they're trophies is what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wearing it around.
Only in the last few years have they become so gaudy you really can't wear them around outside of something. Like Coughlin had his on for the M Club last year. Yeah, and it was wearable. Like it was big, obviously, but it was not crazy enough that it was whatever. So I mean, credit to them. It was, and they're good again.
Oh no, they're really good.
They're the best team.
They're really good. They're and they have an organization that's sort of doing it the right way. They know that this is their window, and they have been able to structure their roster in a way that's going to allow them to keep the nucleus of that team for an extended period of time.
Line has come down a point on Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, so if you're just really itching to take the Rebels, you can now get it at around 24, something like that.
Just too many. I feel almost guilty because we haven't talked about the game, but it's one of those games that if we're still talking about, literally, if we're talking about Vanderbilt on Monday, something went horrifically wrong. We're going to be talking about Texas A&M and then presumably Georgia.
The over-under keeps going up. It was at 61 to open, and now it's at 63.5.
Well, Vanderbilt can score some points.
Yeah. They named Ken Sills the quarterback, and whew.
But if you tell me Vanderbilt got to
20,
21 points, 22 points, 23 points, I'm not stunned.
44-21 goes over.
That wouldn't surprise you, would it?
No.
Or even 40-23.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we'll talk about it more tomorrow. We got through picks, a lighter week of picks, it looked like, on the
there just
on
were
the
no
slate.
games.
Yeah, so we're not picking like middle school or anything to keep it going. We're just going to pick the games.
Not yet.
So we'll have
I would have missed on my middle school pick last week.
That's true.
I would have picked Tupelo.
Congratulations to Oxford. They won the 7th and 8th grade, knocking off the previously dominant Wave. They won 20-12 in the 7th grade game. And
it's always good to beat the Wave.
Beat the 8th grade in overtime. It was a 0-0 battle going into overtime, and Rob Upchurch caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
Get a little intense in the stands a little bit.
It was pretty calm. It was okay.
Was it calm?
It was.
Okay.
I think everybody expected more chippiness, and I know people are going, "You're serious," but it's Tupelo and Oxford. Yeah, there's a chance of chippiness going on.
I've been to Tupelo Oxford soccer games where the kids all know each other, and the parents basically kind of know each other because of club, and yet
you have to remind themselves a little bit that it's whatever.
It borders on chippy.
My favorite part of the night, because middle school football is an experience, is puberty is a real thing, because the difference in 7th grade and 8th grade is a different sport.
Yes.
I mean, it is unbelievable, the difference in those two sports. But in 7th grade, a kid from Oxford, it was 14-12 Chargers. There's like 45 seconds left. Tupelo's out of timeouts. The game's over, and he runs for the first down to end the game, but he gets loose. And you cannot convince a 7th grader to have situational awareness. He was finding the end zone. It wasn't fall down. And like my brother was like, oh God, you could see his body language go, no, get down, because they could score and go for 2 and tie or whatever. And it went, no, 7th grader with a chance to put 6 on the board. He's putting 6 on the board.
I'm getting in the end zone, baby.
He took off and broke a couple tackles.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they had that, and then a kid pick off a ball in the end zone and running out to the 1.
I mean, that's where he's like, "Hey, if you bet on this, that's on you. I'm getting my score."
Yeah. So
little Jenny's in the stands right now. Okay.
Yeah. So
you worry about the damn situational awareness. I'm scoring.
Yeah. So again, between that and like I said, they had a touchdown. There was Tupelo players everywhere, and he ran it out to the 1 and got tackled at the 1. But hey, I got the ball. I'm headed out the other way.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's go after it. So anyway, all right, we'll get into picks tomorrow. We'll talk to Jeffrey. Got more coming as well. So hope all of you have a wonderful day. MPW Digital, rebelgrove.com, and we'll talk to you again soon.